If you wake up with stiff, cracking knees, you know the exact sensation. It feels like trying to force a heavily worn, rusted mechanical hinge to open and close before it's been oiled. When you experience that friction, the most common advice you will hear is to take a complete rest, avoid deep bending, and stop squatting immediately. That advice ignores how human tissue operates. Your tendons and ligaments require progressive mechanical stress to survive. When you completely rest a painful joint to avoid discomfort, the connective tissue rapidly weakens and breaks down further. Instead of avoidance, you need to introduce productive pain. This is the application of intense, controlled effort designed to rebuild your lower body suspension system. To execute the routine that achieves this, you need 4 basic tools: a wall, a flat floor, a jump rope, and a method for tracking your numbers. Treating your knees like fragile glass guarantees their continued decline. Intentionally applying controlled tension is the biological mechanism that forces them to rebuild. Step 1 of this daily routine requires a deep, static isometric hold, using either a wall sit or a horse stance. This line graph illustrates exactly why we use this stance. Notice the flat, continuous line of force from the isometric hold, placing your quads, glutes, and knee connective tissues under massive, unbroken tension. Compare that to the fluctuating peaks and valleys of a standard moving repetition. That unbroken tension is the exact stimulus needed to trigger physiological adaptation in your tendons, and it achieves this without subjecting the joint to any dynamic wear and tear. You will know you are performing this correctly when you hit specific physical validation markers. You should feel an intense burning sensation, localized cramping, and eventually visible shaking in your legs. The point of failure for most people is treating this like a break. If you can hold a casual, comfortable stance while scrolling on your phone, the load is too light to cause adaptation. When your legs begin to physically shake, you have not failed the exercise. That shaking is the exact biological trigger required to force the tendon to heal. Once the tissues are activated, Step 2 requires performing perfectly executed, slow, controlled bodyweight squats. Bouncing through fast, shallow quarter squats is a mistake. Moving quickly through a limited range treats the exercise like a cardio warm-up, stripping away the mechanical tension needed to rebuild the knee. This split panel illustration demonstrates the correct mechanical requirement. Look at the figure on the right side of this image. You must sink all the way down to the absolute bottom of the movement to achieve a full tissue stretch. When you reach that lowest position, you must pause completely. This dead stop kills all downward momentum and forces the muscles to bear the entire load. From that dead stop, drive forcefully back up to a standing position. Executing the movement this way teaches your lower body how to generate power and maintain stability under load. Rushing through shallow repetitions leaves potential gains on the table. Forcing your body to control the deepest part of the stretch dictates how resilient your knees will actually become. Step 3 is 10 minutes of light impact conditioning using a jump rope. When your joints are already hurting, your natural instinct is to avoid all forms of impact. This visualization shows how a properly functioning biological suspension system absorbs and distributes kinetic force smoothly throughout the lower body. Light, rhythmic jumping forces your calves, knees, and ankles to make the exact neuromuscular adjustments required to handle this energy transfer. The physical sensation you are aiming for is a coordinated, spring-like bounce, keeping your form tight and working entirely on a flat, even surface. Exposing the lower leg to this low-level impact directly strengthens the surrounding connective tissue. This specific adaptation drastically reduces the risk of future ankle and foot injuries. By safely reintroducing light impact, you teach your suspension system how to effectively absorb and distribute the daily shock of walking, running, and moving. The previous 3 steps will only work if you apply the core requirement of progressive overload. Performing the exact same 30-second wall sit or completing the same 20 squats month after month is a waste of effort. The body adapts to a stimulus quickly and then stops changing. This diagram of a workout logbook outlines the immediate action you must take after every session. You log the time you held the stance and the reps you completed. You plan to add seconds or reps to the next workout. These continuous, incremental additions are the only mechanism that forces your body into a constant state of physical adaptation and repair. Repeating a static, comfortable routine maintains your current state of pain. Systematically increasing the physical demand forces the body to heal. The blueprint is simple. Use isometric holds to create tension, perfectly execute deep squats for full range of motion, utilize light impact jumping to tune your suspension, and strictly track your numbers to guarantee growth. Real joint health comes from the consistent execution of these basic physical fundamentals, not from buying expensive braces or complex mobility gadgets. Put your phone down and execute this exact routine tonight. If you want more clear, evidence-based training protocols, hit the subscribe button and I will see you